Welcome to Parlay Power Hour for October 26, 2021. It's almost Halloween. The World Series is here. NBA is here. NHL is here. It's all here, G-Money. It's a great time of the year. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, Tanner. The World Series is here. I am very excited. I didn't think I would be, honestly, looking at these teams on paper, but the morning hit, and I'm excited. I'm just excited to watch the World Series.
There's a variety of storylines I'm looking forward to in the series. One, Dusty Baker. I'd like to see him win a World Series. That's the one reason I'm rooting for the Astros. Also, Carlos Correa. I hate him so much, but I also love him too. I don't know why. He's just that kind of guy. Like, you hate him, but you love him. Not a big fan of the Astros, obviously. The reason I would want them to win is Dusty Baker. When we look at the Braves, the reason I would want them to win is because nobody expected them to be there. Also, Jock Peterson is a god, and I love Jock Peterson. So that's my two reasons. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. We're going to start with basketball. But before we do that, this is the best hour of your day, isn't it, G-Money?
Of course it is. What else could it be?
Nothing. And you know what? The people don't want the picks.
People need the picks, Tanner.
They need the freaking picks. They need the picks. $1,000 risk-free bet on FanDuel, guys. Check it out. Links in the description below. It's the best offer in the business, G-Money. There's nothing better than FanDuel. Nothing better. You're
absolutely
on
not.
FanDuel right now, too.
What'd you say?
You're having some success on FanDuel right now.
Yeah, I was close to hitting another five-leg parlay yesterday. $1 for a $42 return. Hornets Celtics game went into overtime, and I ended up missing out because I took Charlotte. But it is what it is. I've already got mine lined up for today. I've got some on the soccer games today, Tanner, and they're all free money. Today is it's a break from the usual league. And now there's a competition between leagues, so a lot of the top. A lot of the top 20 teams in England, they're now taking on like the bottom 20. So should be some easy money going on over.
You there, G-Money?
Yeah, sorry, my screen keeps reloading. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. How much did you hear?
I heard the top 20 are playing the bottom 20.
Yep, that's the memo.
I think I hate soccer now because I was at a bar on Sunday, I believe, and they had soccer on and not the football games. It was kind of ridiculous. It was very ridiculous. But you know what? I love soccer because you love soccer, G-Money, and we're friends. All right, we'll start with you. 76ers money line versus the Knicks. We look at this game. The 76ers got the Ben Simmons drama going on. They're going to New York. Are they going to New York to play the Knicks? Stay home. Yeah, they're going to New York to play the Knicks. Talk to me about this one, G-Money.
Yeah, so I am taking the 76ers in this one. For anyone that's worried about Joel Embiid's numbers being down, he's not even averaging 30 minutes per game yet. Part of that has been because they've been up so much that he hasn't needed to play. They've looked pretty good. One thing that I'm really impressed with is Seth Curry is averaging over 20 points per game. It's a very small sample size, obviously, but if he were to do that for the whole season, it would be the first time in his career. Their only loss so far was a 5-point decision to the Brooklyn Nets, and they kind of threw that one away. I'm trying to remember the exact numbers. I think they were outscored by 12 points over the last couple of minutes of the game. They pretty much had it locked up, and it was a tremendous throw to lose that one. The Knicks, meanwhile, you know what you're going to get from them. They are a very sound defensive team. But, the 76ers, Julius Randle is great, but he can't match up to Joel Embiid's star power. And B, when you've got guys like Seth Curry and Tobias Harris and even Furkan Korkmaz spacing the floor, the Knicks don't have the volume three-point shooters to keep up with them. So the smart money is on the 76ers, and especially with positive odds. I don't understand how they are so good, to be completely honest. I mean, this is the number one seed in the East from last year. So plus 102 on the money line against the Knicks, as close to free money as you're going to get.
Yeah, I do like this bet a lot. Now you got to factor in that they're going to New York. New York's not an easy place to play. And also the Ben Simmons drama. Now, how much is this going to affect the team moving forward? I know they're 2-1 right now. They've looked good this season. But what do you think about Ben Simmons and if he does make a return and all that?
Well, to be honest, I don't think the drama bothers them one bit. I mean, we saw that in the first game of the season. They won 117-97. And that, the Pelicans, to be fair, are not a great team. They've lost a lot of important pieces, but you play who's in front of you. And they came out on opening night. Everybody was wondering, how are they going to handle the situation? And they won by 20 points. And that was with Joel Embiid only playing 26 minutes. He usually averages somewhere around 35. So I think this team is going to be totally fine. I think especially since they just had that meeting behind closed doors where all the different parties sort of aired their grievances, admitted everybody was at fault. Ben Simmons said he's leaving to take some personal time, but I think this is different now. I think he will be back. We know he wants to be back, at least to collect his checks. That's why he showed up to practice. So I think now that this conversation is out of the way, I think he will be back and in the starting lineup, let's say within a month's time.
I don't think that's going to go over really well in Philly amongst the fans.
It already hasn't. They
They
want him out. They want him out since before he wanted out. At the end of the series with the Atlanta Hawks, when he didn't take one field goal for the final 5 games in the fourth quarter, when he was wide open under the hoop with a 5'11" defender and had a dunk opportunity and chose to pass it away, they've been fed up with him. They've wanted him gone for a while now.
Yep, definitely. So Gloria, yo, what's happening, boys? Gloria, how you doing? We're talking 2 basketball games today. Grant's got his basketball game. I got my basketball game. And then we're rolling right into our World Series preview, so that should be fun. All right, Grant, you ready for this? We were scrolling through FanDuel this morning. We saw this. This is tremendous value. Nuggets +7 versus the Jazz. We look at the Nuggets. Nikola Jokic was the MVP last season for the team. Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon. They haven't been playing great. I think that's unlikely that will continue. I think they get back on track. This is a perfect game to do it against the Jazz, and that's why you're getting value here. Nuggets +7. I believe they're +230, +240 on the money line. This game's going to be very close. Don't get fooled by that spread and that massive money line difference there. On the Jazz side, they've beaten 2 teams that are not very good. We look at their wins this year. They beat Sacramento. They beat OKC. So, you know what? That's why this odd's getting boosted there, too, by FanDuel. Also, their three-point percentage this year is at 33%. That's not going to be sustainable for them to win games. They were 39% last year. They need to shoot at that level. If they're not shooting at that level, they're going to have trouble. I think the Nuggets come in. They definitely cover. This is a lock on the cover. Now, considering it's in Utah, that might be a little different on the money line side, but I think the Nuggets could escape with a win, but definitely cover +7 tonight.
Yeah, Tanner, I would absolutely agree with you. The Jazz, they haven't had the three-point shot going for them, and that was, crucial to their success last year. It's the reason why they, got so close to making the Western Conference Finals. Probably should have before they choked against the Clippers. If they're only shooting 33%, I mean, they're not that imposing of a threat. One thing also, Donovan Mitchell is just averaging 21 points per game this season. Lucky for them, they have a relatively deep roster, but when, it goes back to what I was saying with Joel Embiid versus Julius Randle, when you've got a matchup of stars, you need your star to be playing at his best. And to Donovan Mitchell's credit, he tends to rise to the occasion, but we haven't seen it so far this season, and he's not alone. A guy like Damian Lillard is also struggling. It's fine to come into the season with a bit of rust, but Jokic has not missed a beat. He looks like he's in MVP form again. So with how well he's playing and the team around him, I don't think it's really safe to say the Jazz's supporting cast is that much better than the Nuggets. So +7, I'm all on board for that. I'd be on board for the money line if you want to get some amazing value. I'm looking over. The Nuggets are at +240 right now, so you're right, Tanner. So I think the Nuggets are going to win the game, so I've absolutely got them covering. This is a great bet.
Yeah, I mean, +240 would be good to do in a risk parlay. +7, I like that as a lock tonight. A lot of good value on FanDuel, and that's what you're going to get at the beginning of the NBA season too. Like, for example, Jazz aren't shooting great, or Jazz are playing better than we think they're going to be this year. Nuggets have not delivered somewhat, but you're getting that value there because of that. So make sure you check that out on FanDuel. We saw that. We spotted it right away. All right, let's get into our World Series preview here. World Series preview action, Gray. You ready for this?
I'm ready for this. This is the big one.
Ready for the background change here? Bang, bang. All right, wait. Oh, we're official now. All right.
Oh, there we go.
This is our World Series preview. We have the Houston Astros going up against the Atlanta Braves. The first 2 games will be at Minute Maid Park in Houston. Then they'll go 3 at Atlanta. They'll return back to Houston if it needs to return back to Houston. Are you ready for this, G-Money?
I'm ready, Tanner. I'm still stuck on the whole playoff format thing. I think the NBA figured out the perfect way. I know you say it's different for baseball, but
well, it's like what's NBA? Isn't it 2-2-1-1-1 or something like that?
Yep.
See, but I don't know. It's like I just think there's so much travel. Like I I don't know. I like the 2-3-2 format. I don't like it if I'm a ticket holder and I'm trying to buy tickets and determine if the game's going to be back. But I like 2-3-2. I don't mind it. I don't mind 2-2-1-1-1 either though, because then it becomes a 3-game series if they split the first 4. So I don't know. But Grant, let's get your opinion right now. Who's winning this series?
Well, Tanner, the obvious answer, maybe the smart answer, would be the Houston Astros because they have the better team. But I think that it's just a Cinderella story, and we're living in the middle of it. I think the Braves are going to win in 6 games. I think they have been too hot. I think that, first of all, beating the Dodgers, I mean, what else could give you more confidence? The Dodgers were the best roster assembled in at least 20 years, and that's easy to say. That's not stepping out on a limb. So I think with the Braves' momentum they had and also that recent defeat, I think they're going to be confident as ever. It's just one of those magical runs, and I don't think you can get in front of it with talent. You have to be playing extremely well, and that's what the Braves are doing. The Astros have been good, but not amazing, so I think the Braves get it done.
I think we can go 2 ways in this series. I'm going to give 2 predictions right now. It's a little cop-out answer. I'll give you my full answer tomorrow when we see what happens tonight. It's either going to be Houston in 6 or Atlanta in 7. Atlanta could be deflated from what happened with the Dodgers. They beat the Dodgers. They beat the best team in baseball. That's hard to follow it up with a strong performance against a good Houston team who is surging right now. Houston did not start out strong in the beginning of the American League Championship Series. They picked it up at the end of the series against the Boston Red Sox. So Houston's surging right now. They want to win for Dusty Baker. And also with the Astros, we got to think they want to win because they want to prove that they can win without cheating. And that's why they're so hungry this year. I believe Houston will win in 6 games. But again, you can't count the Braves out right now after beating the Dodgers. Again, though, the Dodgers were very disappointing down the stretch. Like, I don't think the Dodgers were anything special in the playoffs by any means. I mean, they beat the Cardinals in the wild card game, barely beat the Cardinals in the wild card game. The division series against the Giants, they survived in that. And granted, the Giants are a good baseball team, but still, they didn't own the Giants by any means. And then the NLCS, they lost. And then the pitching wasn't great. The offense wasn't great. Playoff Cody was the star of the show, and he can't do it all.
Yeah, but I want to go back to what you said about maybe the Braves are deflated from beating the Dodgers. That wasn't the mark. That wasn't the litmus test for the Braves team. The Dodgers, all they cared about was beating the Giants. I mean, looking back on it, hindsight is 2020, but it shouldn't be a massive surprise they lost to the Braves. The Dodgers' whole season was, we got to catch the Giants, and then they didn't. So, even more than ever, it was, okay, well, we need to beat the Giants. They did that, and I think they lost sight of the finish line. Whereas this Braves team, they don't really have a finish line. It was just one step at a time, starting from that regular season run to even get into the playoffs. We were talking about how the Mets had it locked up, had the NL East locked up halfway through the season. There was no way they were going to make it. So I think this is totally different. I think Atlanta, they take it day by day, and that's what you need against Houston, especially because they can get so nuclearly hot. The Astros might score 12 runs on them one game. And I think the Braves have that ability to just put that behind them and say, we're going on to the next one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can take this as a full series and look at it, okay, we got 7 games over the next week and a half, right? You got to say, all right, we got to win today. We got to win today. Gloria, I'm in Atlanta now at Sugarloaf TCP Golf Tournament. That's awesome, Gloria. Are you staying until, I believe, Friday's the first game in Atlanta? No. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, Friday, Saturday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Gloria, you stay until Friday to watch the game at Truist Park? No? Yes? Let us know. That's cool, though. Gloria, you're our number 1 fan. We appreciate you. All right, Grant, let's talk about tonight's game, pitching matchup-wise, and then we can obviously save the remainder of the game for other Parlay Power Hour episodes. But tonight, we got who's going?
Charlie Morton and Framber Valdez.
Charlie Morton and Framber Valdez. Should be interesting. I look at like a guy like Framber Valdez, and one game against the Red Sox, he sucks. The next game against the Red Sox, he's tremendous. Charlie Morton's been pretty stable this whole season. He's a guy that started in the World Series last year for the Rays. So he's been there. He knows how to do it. I don't think he's gonna get overwhelmed in the moment tonight. I don't think either of these guys are going to get overwhelmed in the moment. I think the Astros win tonight.
It's interesting because normally I'm a big Framber Valdez fan, but he had a start against the White Sox where he went 4 innings, gave up 4 runs, and that he just didn't look good. And Charlie Morton, he's 14-6 with a 3.34 ERA in the regular season this year. Nothing sensational, but he has been very consistent in these playoffs. 5 innings, 2 earned runs, 3 innings, 2 earned runs, 6 innings, 2 earned runs. Nothing sensational, but the team, I think the team trusts him. Like you were talking about, he's got that experience on this stage. So I don't think we're honestly getting an indication of what the game is going to be looking at these starters. I think they'll play each other pretty much to a draw. So I think it's going to come down to those later innings where both teams excelled in their last series, in the championship series. That's why they're both here, because they were able to win the battle of the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. So I that's what I'm keeping my eye on more than anything.
Yeah, I like that. I think when I look at the series tonight, or look at the game tonight, I do think that the Astros started out with a bang. I can't I obviously got to respect the Braves for being here, but I think the Astros started out with a bang. I think they get the job done. I think they get it back to Atlanta. Maybe give Houston a little more trouble in Atlanta, but I think Houston owns the first 2 games of the series. If they split, that's a win for the Braves, just like we said it for the Red Sox. The Red Sox went to Houston and split. They were set up to win the series. They just didn't execute. All right, Grant, final question for you here. Final question. Who is the player that delivers the blow in this series for both teams?
Come on, Tanner.
Who is the player?
There's one person I have to pick.
Okay.
It's not even up for debate. Even if I thought the Astros were going to win, it's not up for debate. It's Eddie Rosario. The guy is hitting 474 in the playoffs, okay? 474. And he's turned in some just ridiculous performances. He's had multiple walk-offs. He's already got 30 bases, 11 RBIs. The guy has just been flat out phenomenal. He went 5 for 6 one game against the Dodgers, I believe. There's not enough good that you can say about this guy. And is he the most talented player in this game, in this series? No, he's not. But it is what it is. He has been playing lights out. And if Walker Buehler, Max Scherzer, Julio Urias, Kenley Jansen, Joe Kelly, if those guys aren't slowing him down, these Houston guys are not either.
So I will say that's a good pick. That's the obvious pick. But here's my pick for it. I'm going to share my screen right now. I'm going to share my screen for the Braves. This is going to be – you're going to love this. I don't know if you've seen this picture or not.
Don't tell me you're taking Carlos Correa.
I'm going to take Carlos Correa for the Astros. What do you think?
I think it's what I expected.
Look at that man. When I saw this picture of him, I think it was a week ago. When I saw this picture of Jock, I was like, what? I didn't realize his body fat percentage was about 30. Second of all, he's got swag. He's got drip.
You know what's funny too? Everybody loves him.
How can you not love him though? He's just a great guy. I loved him when he was with the Dodgers. And now, he went to the Cubbies, and now he's with the Braves. How can you not love this guy? He started off the trade deadline mania. When you really think about it, he was the first one to go a week before really things started to heat up. And he's been clutch for this team this year. Talk about Eddie Rosario, obviously, but Jock Peterson has delivered for this team. They're not here without Jock Peterson right now. No,
they're not. He has been really good. Look at that T-shirt. How could he not be?
I got to get that T-shirt, man. So how can he not be? So I think Jock delivers the blow for Atlanta. I think Rosario is going to calm down a little bit in the World Series. I just don't think this is sustainable. We look at what Kike did. Kike was sensational for a few games, not a few games, sensational for a lot of games, and then he calmed down late in the series against the Astros, and then Red Sox lose and they're home right now. So we got to factor that into the equation. But I think Jock delivers tonight, and then for the Astros, I got to go with Carlos Correa. I think he's the man. Yes, he's going to do that tonight. He's going to do something stupid like that. I would say Jose Altuve. I'd say Bregman. I think all of them deliver at some point in the series, but the dude who's going to deliver that blow, that skull-crushing finale blow to the Atlanta Braves is Carlos Correa.
This is a tough point for me because as I'm trying to maintain my journalistic integrity. I would be remiss if I didn't mention Jose Altuve, but it's hard for me to, give him and that team any sort of credit. especially with him, embracing how they were the cheaters. It's just so against what I believe in sports. So if I had to pick someone who I think, if the Astros are going to win, it's going to be because of him, I would go Altuve. But I rarely say this, but I don't want to see the guy succeed.
Yeah.
Normally, I want everybody to succeed. It's sports, it's competition, but it's for that reason that I don't want to see him succeed. He took away competition from the sport. So it hurts me to say it, but if I got to pick an Astros player, I'll take Altuve.
I'd say Altuve. Also, Kyle Tucker. I don't think we can forget about him. I mean, he's been pretty damn good throughout the series. So I would say Kyle Tucker as well, or throughout the playoffs. But when we look at Altuve, I kind of like the fact that the Astros they've rallied around the cheating identity. Like we did cheat. Like we owned up to it. Like that narrative's kind of gone. But now it's like we want to prove teams right. We want to prove teams wrong, that we can win without cheating. That's what they're doing right now. I just think they're going to roll. And I love Dusty Baker. I think Dusty needs a World Series. He gets it this year with the Houston Astros. So, Grant, final thoughts. World Series. We had a big show. We had 2 really good basketball picks and a little World Series preview. Final thoughts. Give them to me. Give them to me, G-Money.
My final thought for today, I don't really want to go back across sports, but I kind of have to, because I do want to talk about the NBA, and I want to talk about LeVar Ball specifically. LiAngelo Ball, he is on a G League team with the Hornets, so he's not exactly lighting up the world, but he's made it past where most people thought. People thought that once he was removed from UCLA's team / unenrolled from college, that he would never do anything. He's out there proving people wrong. And then the 2 teams top of the Eastern Conference, Charlotte Hornets and the Chicago Bulls. I know it's super, super early. Bulls are off to their first 4-0 start in how long, Tanner?
Since Michael Jordan was there.
Since Michael Jordan was there. The Chicago Bulls are 4-0 for the first time since the 1996-97 season. Lonzo Ball up there uniting with DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic, Zach LaVine. And then in Charlotte, LaMelo Ball, Jay-Z was trying to convince him to come to Brooklyn. He said, no, I'm in Charlotte, man. I want to be there forever. I love that. He's playing lights-out basketball. He's making more threes than twos. Kid is incredible, and I'm happy to see both of those Ball brothers succeed.
His drip is unreal. Like the green jacket the other day.
It wasn't just the green jacket. It was the car that was the exact same color. He matched his jacket with his car.
He looked like it looked like kind of like. So I was getting on the T last night to go see my buddy, and I'm coming down like the green line to go towards TD Garden, right? And there was a Harry Styles concert at TD Garden last night, and I'm looking at all these like girls. They're dressed up like clowns, kind of like with like face paint and stuff. I had no clue what it was for. It was the most wildest thing. I felt like I was in a different universe. That's what I kind of see when I look at Melo Ball. Like that's like, and you know what? He can back it. I couldn't wear it. Like I don't know what he kind of looked like a character from like Harry Potter combined with the Hunger Games. Yeah, more Hunger Games, I would say. Would you agree with that?
No, I would say he looked like a super villain from a Batman story.
Okay, yeah, that's fair too. He looked like something. I don't know what it was, but he looked like something. I like the drip. I like the green jacket. I probably couldn't rock that look if I had the money to afford that look. But
you could not.
He did a nice job there. So yeah, I'm happy the Ball brothers are playing well. I got a shout out to the Bulls for being on 4-0 for the first time since Michael Jordan. And yeah, wasn't there a big story on Michael Jordan sneakers too? Didn't they go for some crazy price? Did you see that story?
Yeah, I didn't click on it, but I think it was the most expensive pair of Jordans ever, or something like that.
Yeah, the price went up since The Last Dance. Like you should have got all Michael Jordan gear before The Last Dance because it went up like tenfold after that. After the docu series, I believe that's what they call it. G-Money, a docu series. Well, 30.
Yep, you got it. You're a filmographer.
I'm a filmographer. I was a film media major for about a semester, so got to factor that into the equation. But my final thought is, I'm excited for baseball. I'm already sad. I've been telling you every day that I'm sad. I'm starting to cry right now, honestly. Like baseball's over, but it'll be back before we know it. I got a trip to Arizona coming, going to see the Arizona Fall League a little bit, just to get the juices flowing again. I'll be back down there for spring training, so very excited for that. But final thoughts are baseball. Let's enjoy these last 4 to 7 games. We'll go with baseball. We'll go with basketball, hockey, football, and then baseball will be back before we know it. That was Parlay Power Hour. That was a great show. That was Electric Factory today.
That was good.
Throw it up, G-Money. One thumb, one finger, one pinky, all love. See you tomorrow for another episode of Parlay Power Hour.